Hey guys, I get a lot of questions and comments about this question right here. The question is often asked, what should be done between the assumption of the wish fulfilled and its realization? This is Neville. It's Neville Goddard of the Power of Awareness. His answer is nothing. You do nothing. This is about free will, guys. Free will. It is a delusion that other than assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you can do anything to aid the realization of your desire. You think that you can do something, you want to do something, but actually you can do nothing. The illusion of the free will to do is but ignorance of the law of assumption upon which all action is based. Everything happens automatically. All that befalls you, all that is done by you happens. Your assumptions, conscious or unconscious, direct all thought and action to their fulfillment. To understand the law of assumption, to be convinced of the truth, means getting rid of all the delusion or the illusions about free will to act. Free will actually means freedom to select any idea you desire. By assuming the idea already to be a fact, it is converted into reality. Beyond that, free will ends and everything happens in harmony with the concept assumed. Okay, I can of mine own self do nothing, because I seek not mine own will, but the will of the Father which hath sent me. In this quotation, the Father obviously refers to God. In the earlier chapter, God is defined as I am. That was in the earlier chapter we went over, guys. The I am chapter number 1 of the Power of Awareness is a playlist in my channel. If you haven't heard that one, but I have that video in my playlist for the Power of Awareness. Okay, since creation is finished, the Father is never in a position of saying I will be. In other words, everything exists, and the infinite I am consciousness can speak only in the present tense. Not my will, but thine be done. I will be is a confession that I am not. So if you're saying, I will be a millionaire, I will be a millionaire, that's confessing that you're not a millionaire now. And the whole point of this is to assume that you are already that millionaire that you're talking about, or whatever it is, if you're $100,000, winning the lotteries, stock market, whatever it is you guys have in store, relationships, anything like that, you have to assume that you already have it, and it won't be, I will have this great relationship. It's I am in a great relationship. It goes back to like affirmations too, that you can use for that, but that's not part of the power of assumption. The Father's will is always I am. Until you realize that you are the Father, there is only one I am, and your infinite self is that I am. Your will is always I will be. In the law of assumption, your consciousness of being is the Father's will. The wish without the consciousness is the my will. This great quotation, so little understood, is a perfect statement of the law of assumption. It is impossible to do anything. You must be in order to do. If you had a different concept of yourself, everything would be different. You are what you are. Okay, so everything is as it is because you are what you are. Okay, the events which you observe are determined by the concept you have of yourself. So the events which you observe are determined by the concept that you hold of yourself. If you change your concept of self, the events ahead of you in time are altered. But thus altered, they form again a deterministic sequence starting from the moment of this changed concept. You are a being with powers of intervention. So once you change your concept of yourself, say you want to be a multimillionaire. So you change your concept, even though you don't have any money now, you change your concept and you act accordingly as if you already have that. So you start talking to people as if you already have this. Like, what would you say to people if you had all the money, or if you had all the money in the world? What would be your conversations that you would have with people around you? Okay, that's a change of concept. And when people start talking to you differently and everything just starts changing in your life, that's when you know you've successfully changed your concept of yourself. Okay, deny the evidence of the senses. So your outside world, you want to deny all of your senses, everything that's in direct conflict with your new concept of yourself. And assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. In as much as your assumption is creative and forms an atmosphere, your assumption, if it be noble one, increase your assurance and helps you to reach a higher level of being. If on the other hand, your assumption be an unlovely one, it hinders you and makes your own downward way swifter. I'm going to say that again because I do encourage this. I do not encourage anyone to use anything unlovely upon anyone else, or want or seek out to have a conception of yourself that's evil or of ill intention. So I'm going to repeat this. If on the other hand, your assumption be an unlovely one, it hinders you and makes your downward way swifter. Just as the lovely assumptions create a harmonious atmosphere, so the hard and bitter feelings create a hard and bitter atmosphere. Okay, so whatsoever things are pure, just, lovely, and of good report, think on these things. That's why the Bible said that, guys. They were really onto something, and that's the key to success, is to do everything that's good with love and gratitude, and never wish any harm upon anyone. Okay, this means to make your assumption the highest, noblest, and happiest concepts. There is no better time to start than now. The present moment is always the most opportune in which to eliminate all lovely assumptions and to concentrate only on the good. As well as yourself, claim for others their divine inheritance. See only their good and the good in them. Stir the highest in others to confidence and self-assertion by your sincere assumption of their good, and you will be their prophet and their healer, for an inevitable fulfillment awaits all sustained assumptions. You win by assumption. You win by assumption what you can never win by force. You can win by assumption what you can never win by force. An assumption is a certain motion of consciousness. This motion, like all motion, exercises an influence on the surrounding substance, causing it to take the shape of echo and reflect the assumption. A change of fortune is a new direction and outlook, merely a change in an arrangement of the same mind substance, which is consciousness, guys. Consciousness. You're changing the mind substance. If you would change your life, you must begin at the very source with your own basic concept of self. Outer change, becoming part of organizations, political bodies, religious bodies, is not enough. The cause goes deeper. The essential change must take place in yourself, in your own concept of self. You must assume that you are what you want to be and continue therein, for the reality of your assumption has its being in complete independence of objective fact and will clothe itself in flesh if you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you know that assumptions, if persisted in, harden into facts, then events which seem to be uninitiated mere accidents will be understood by you to be the logical and inevitable effects of your assumption. The important thing to bear in mind is that you have infinite free will in choosing your assumptions, but no power to determine conditions and events. You can create nothing, but your assumptions determine what portion of creation you will experience. So I really love this chapter. I really wanted to share it with you guys. And if you have any comments on that, about free will and basically changing your concept of yourself, and the question, what should be done? And basically Neville Goddard says nothing, but there's some other variables involved in that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, chapter 21, Out of the Power of Awareness. It's an older edition. I don't know if they still sell this one or not, but hope you guys like this, and stay tuned. We got more coming.